Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. We have a good friend. I will call her Mickey for the purpose of this video. Mickey lives in Atlanta, Georgia. Mickey professed that she doesn't like to cook. Her idea is that why bother to cook when you can go out to eat and have other people to cook for you. And besides, by living in Atlanta, she had all kinds of restaurants to choose from. All this changed when Mickey tasted this pan-fried noodle dish when she came visit us several years ago. Mickey really loved this dish. It is almost a love at first sight. We agree with her completely because this dish is also one of my wife and I's all-time favorite. Mickey is a vegetarian, so I created this vegetarian version especially for her. Okay, let's go into the kitchen and give this a try. Frying noodles is most challenging in a wok without non-stick coatings. The high starch content in the noodles tend to remove seasoning from the wok. I use my spot seasoning method to make sure that I season the wok well. If you want to learn more about this process, you can take a look at my video. I use angel hair noodles to cook this dish. There are a couple of things you can do to help preventing the noodles from sticking and burning to the surface of the wok. Number one is that to store the noodle in the refrigerator overnight or longer before you use it in the frying. Second is to coat the noodles with a light layer of oil before storage. These two approaches will reduce the likelihood for the noodle to stick and burn to the surface of the wok. However, there is no guarantee. As soon as I add the noodle to the wok, I make sure that I toss it so that the noodles will be coated with the oil in the wok. The noodle should be glistening with oil. If not, add some more oil. Once I get a feel that the noodle is not going to stick to the bottom of the wok, I just let it fry. I set the heat setting of the stove to around medium and I let it to fry for about 5 minutes. I then use the wok spatula to flip the noodle over. As you can see, the backside of noodle looked really nice. It fried to a golden brown color. Next, I'm going to let the noodles to fry on the other side. It is the contrasting texture, that is the crispiness of the fried noodle and the softness of the noodles that have not been fried make this dish so attractive. In another 2 to 3 minutes, the noodle is done and I transfer it into a serving plate and I'm going to set it aside, and next I'm going to cook the vegetables that will top over the noodles. The second part of this dish is to stir fry vegetables. I'm going to start out with some Brussels sprouts followed by a handful of carrots. Both of these two ingredients, I call them the supporting cast. I almost always use carrots in my vegetable stir fry because the carrot provide both flavor and texture, and it also adds color to the dish. When I look into the refrigerator, I find some Brussels sprouts that are already prepped, so I decided to add to this dish, and I really enjoy Brussels sprouts anyway. The main ingredients of this dish is the French green bean. I prefer the French green bean over regular green bean. The wok is now getting full, and this is the reason I always suggest people to get a 14-inch wok rather than anything smaller, because vegetables take up a lot of space, and most of the time as you cook the vegetable further, they will shrink. Therefore, a larger wok has a lot of advantage. In this case, allow you to cook more vegetable, at least in the early phase of the cooking process. In addition to the fact that I like this flavor combination of these 3 different vegetables, another important consideration is that all these 3 vegetables take about the same amount of time to cook. So combine them into a medley is the right thing to do. The amount of the time for you to cook this dish depends on the setting of your stove. If you have a very powerful stove, this will take a shorter time to cook, but then you need to stir faster, prevent things from burning to the surface of the wok. In my case, it usually takes about 3 to 5 minutes to cook the green bean and the Brussels sprout. The telltale sign is that when the green bean and the Brussels sprout start to look that the surface have char, you know that you are pretty close to the completion of the cooking process. Stir frying the green bean, the Brussels sprout, and the carrots in this manner guarantee that you're going to generate a wonderful flavor on the surface of the vegetable through the chemical reaction known as the Maillard reaction. Next, I'm going to season the dish with my basic seasoning mix. You can learn more about the ingredients in this seasoning mix by taking a look at this video. Now, I put this seasoning mix together with the goal to enhance the natural flavor of the ingredients. By this time, if you notice at the bottom of the wok, things start to stick and might start to burn. So I have a method for cleaning them, which I call spot cleaning, by squeezing water to the area that have burned materials. And then you use the wok spatula as a scraper, and you can easily scrape the burnt material off the surface of the wok. You then mix the burnt material actually with the fluid that you have added to the wok. It will dissolve, and in fact it will produce a very nice light sauce. Now the vegetable has reached the texture that I prefer. Next, to create a sauce, I'm going to create a light teriyaki sauce by using first of all some oyster sauce and then followed by some hoisin sauce. Both of this sauce is a convenient way to season your dish. You can season the dish in almost anywhere you like. You can season it with Italian style or a Thai style, and all of this will be up to your determination. For this dish, I need quite a bit of sauce to cover the noodles. So I add more water to the ingredients in the wok. To thicken the sauce, I have created a cornstarch water suspension. I'm going to add a little bit at a time to make sure that I do not make the sauce too thick. Cornstarch is a great thickening agent because it acts very quickly. As you can tell, the sauce becomes very thick. I add water to the wok using my squeeze bottle to thin out the sauce. For this dish, the consistency of the sauce is critical. It should not be too thick or too thin. In order to create the right consistency of the sauce, you might need to add water over multiple times, and you mix it and then you decide whether the consistency is just right or not. Okay, now this vegetable dish is done, and it takes only a little bit over 3 minutes. This green bean vegetable will then go right over the noodles. This is by far one of my wife's favorite dish. We used to go to a Chinese restaurant in Chicago, and we will order this dish every single time we went there. In fact, as soon as we walk in, the waitress who come to know us will place an order immediately for us. It is wonderful now that we could cook it ourselves. And in fact, my wife told me that this version of this pan-fried noodle, in fact, is better than the one at the restaurant. I think she's just being nice to me so that I would keep cooking. This dish originated from southern part of China. In the United States, most Chinese restaurants do not serve this dish. My wife and I both love this dish because how the noodle is fried. When the noodle has that crispy fried texture in combined to part that is soft, give this the contrast which make this dish so attractive. After I told Mickey that she can make this noodle with angel hair noodles, she start to play around with it as well. And because she liked it so much, she spent a lot of time to get the perfect texture that she enjoys. Vicky still likes to eat out, but her attitude has now changed. Now she realized that even though that she can go out to eat in restaurants and they make excellent food, but nevertheless, nobody can cook any dish better than she cook for herself if she know exactly what she wants. For us, my wife and I do not eat out much at all because we know that we can cook the best food for ourselves. Not that we are the best, greatest cook, but we know exactly how we like it. Of course, I am biased, but in my opinion, my fast cooking system probably provide the best option in creating the type of food that you like as well as that is good for you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you next time.